You're not listening, dude.
On July 26, 2021, officers with the Orangeburg Department of Public Safety in South Carolina were sent to a townhome complex on Colleton Street. A caller had reported a man with a gun. That man was 58-year-old Clarence Gaillard, and what he was actually holding was a stick wrapped in shiny tape, something he carried to keep stray dogs away. The caller, a relative, later said she never actually saw a gun. Officer David Lance Dukes was first on scene. Within seconds, he drew his firearm and ordered Gaillard and his cousin, Mario Julian, to the ground. Welcome to Badge Done Right, where we spotlight law enforcement done right. If you're new here, hit subscribe and join us. Now let's get into the story.
Hey, let me see your hands. Bert, get on the ground. Get on the ground. Get on the ground right here. Get on the ground. You, Bert, you sharp, get on the ground. Over here. On the ground! On the ground! Get on the ground! Do you not listen? Get on the ground!
Gaillard, who had rods and pins in his leg, knee, and hip from being hit by a car years earlier while riding his bike, got onto his hands and knees. He couldn't get down any faster. Dukes used his foot to force him the rest of the way, and Gaillard's head struck the pavement. Here's the law that governs a moment like this. In the 1989 case Graham versus Connor, the U.S. Supreme Court said an officer's use of force has to be reasonable under the circumstances, and it laid out 3 questions. How serious was the crime? Did the person pose an immediate threat? And were they resisting or trying to flee? More recently, in the 2016 case Armstrong versus Village of Pinehurst, which is binding law in South Carolina, the Fourth Circuit added that even passive resistance can justify some force, but only as much as the actual risk calls for. Apply that here. There was no real crime, no weapon, no threat. Gaillard's empty hands were raised, and he wasn't resisting. He was trying to comply. On those facts, it is very likely a court would find the force neither reasonable nor justified.
Is there a gun back there?
Ain't no gun.
By that truck.
Ain't no gun.
You're not listening, dude. Bro, you got a gun on you, man?
No, I ain't got no gun.
Right,
I
I'm
don't
just
own no gun. I don't
Turn back over. Polidore, you watch him say? He had something.
I ain't own no gun.
The door's unlocked, it's not always shut.
No, he was right here. Watch him. Go watch him. There it is.
I don't own no gun.
All right, that's what he had. All right, who's the complainant? All right, get him up.
Put your leg up.
25 cents, got one tank.
Alright. Put your leg that way so you
I'm
can stand
disabled.
up.
All right, listen, I'm about to help you. Hold on. Hold on. All right, ready? 1, 2, 3. All right.
Yep.
Listen.
Yep, they slammed my head
Listen.
down on the cement. Yep.
Go back inside. Go back in the house. Go back in the house. Ain't nobody talking to you.
I got head drummer.
Go back in the house.
Yep. Y'all bust my head down. Yeah, I've been in an accident. Yep. Y'all bust my head down. You throw me down.
I sure did. You wasn't listening.
Yep. No, it ain't. You ain't to throw me down like that. I'm disability.
Okay.
I got head problem. Yup. You throw me down. Yup. You throw me down. You throw me down. Yup. You bust my head down on the cement. Yup. You bust my head.
All right, let me tell you what.
His forehead.
You bust my head down on the cement.
He was in front of the car when I came up. And he was walking like this. And I thought it was a gun at first. I said, drop the gun, drop the gun, drop the gun, drop the gun. Had him at gunpoint. And he's over here doing something like this.
You slammed my head. You slammed my head.
What he was doing is putting this up behind the tire. So he comes over right here. He got his hands in his pockets. I'm telling him, let me see your hands, let me see your hands, let me see your
Why you
hands.
bust my head?
He wasn't listening.
No, it ain't.
He got the, like this right here,
You grabbed me.
and we went onto the ground.
You bust my head.
Then came the reports, and this is the part that matters most. Dukes claimed Gaillard had walked toward him with a hand in his pocket, ignoring commands to show his hands, and that he believed Gaillard had a gun. The body camera told a different story. Gaillard's hands were visible, raised, for most of the encounter, and Dukes never actually told him to drop a weapon or show his hands. He shouted at him to get on the ground. The reports from Dukes' own colleagues didn't match his account either. Corporal Brandy Smith wrote that Dukes pushed Gaillard down with his foot on his back, and mentioned no gun and no commands about one. And Sergeant Aqkwele Polidore, another officer on scene, described Dukes coming down on Gaillard harder than that. Her report made one thing clear. What Dukes told his supervisor afterward did not line up with the footage, or with what his fellow officers saw.
That's what
On the cement. You bust my
Yeah,
forehead.
your head did hit the cement.
Right, because you bust me down on the cement.
Where's the complainant?
You bust my head down on the cement.
Right here?
You bust my head. You bust my head.
Where's the complainant?
Bust my head down.
We're trying to get the name of the complainant.
You
So,
bust my head.
What are we doing? I guess Sam was going to check him out.
Ain't nobody
There ain't nothing about here wanting to press charges on us.
Who called?
I'm not sure.
Take him out of cuffs right now. I mean, because that's what we
You're
got.
gonna have to use it for us.
Yeah.
No doubt.
Yeah.
slam my head down.
Dude, I didn't know what his
You
intention
use
was.
it for us. You need to look at the camera.
Alright. The officer did wrong. Slam my head down. Bust my forehead. Damn right. I'm gonna pay me for that shit.
Mayor, I'm going to take that into evidence of what he had.
What?
Well, I mean, you know, that's the reasons I did what I did. You know what I'm saying? That's where I'm coming from.
No gun or nothing.
Because when he was behind the truck, I couldn't see what he was doing. And I didn't know where
There ain't nothing there.
that went. If it was still in his pockets when he come around that car with his hands in his pockets.
These dogs on.
Got it on camera.
Yeah, a
All
dog
right, that's
stick.
fine.
A dog stick.
So he can come out of cuffs?
Yeah. Take him out of handcuffs.
Yeah, he can come out.
You mind looking? Hi. Good, how are you? What's going on?
Officer slammed my forehead down in the cement.
Okay.
In the wrong for that.
Did you process this?
Yeah. Listen.
Can I get a card for me?
I don't have one there. We don't have
What's your
they
badge
don't give us cards.
Okay, what's your badge number?
1059.
Let me see if I can get my phone. Hold on.
hold on. We have cards.
I get ready.
All right,
Okay.
give them a blood test. Okay.
Thank
Like,
you.
go to hospital?
After it was over, Julian asked Dukes for a business card. Dukes claimed the department didn't issue them. Sergeant Polidore corrected him on the spot. They did, and gave Julian the information he'd asked for. It's a small moment, but it fits a pattern. Under South Carolina common law, obstruction of justice covers any act that hinders the administration of justice, and official misconduct covers a public officer who fails to carry out a legal duty. In the 1997 case, State versus Lyles Gray, a Camden police officer was convicted of both for her conduct during an investigation. A fib about business cards almost certainly wouldn't rise to that level, and South Carolina doesn't actually require officers to hand out identification, but it points in the same direction as everything else, an officer shaping the story instead of owning it. The department didn't wait. Gaillard was treated by EMS and released. 2 days later, Dukes was fired. The public safety director called the force a clear violation of policy, and a captain called it excessive. The state's law enforcement division, SLED, investigated and charged Dukes with first-degree assault and battery, a felony carrying up to 10 years, finding that his actions were likely to cause serious injury. In November 2021, the city of Orangeburg apologized and settled with Gaillard for $650,000 and began reviewing its use of force policies. As of the most recent public reporting, the final outcome of the criminal case hasn't been clearly reported. And Sergeant Polidore, the officer who wouldn't look away, was promoted. It would be easy to make this whole story about the officer who did wrong, but that's not the part worth remembering. Officers who witness a colleague cross the line face a quiet, brutal choice: speak up and risk everything, or stay silent and stay comfortable. On that afternoon, another officer on scene reportedly congratulated Dukes before anyone knew what had really happened. Sergeant Polidore did the opposite. She asked, more than once, whether the man on the ground needed help. She wrote down what she actually saw, and when it would have been easier to close ranks, she told the truth. That's the whole job. Not the badge, not the gun, the willingness to hold the line even when the person on the wrong side of it is wearing the same uniform you are. Dukes showed what it looks like when an officer forgets who the badge is for. Polidore showed what it looks like when one remembers. That's the story out of Orangeburg, South Carolina. Proof that good policing isn't the exception, it's a choice officers make every single day. Subscribe, stay sharp, and remember, accountability works both ways. I'll see you in the next story.